All right. Try this again. Had audio issues, but all right, guys. Look, man. First of all, I can't stress enough how serious this issue is, right? I can't stress enough, all right, how important it is to fight against the narratives of the pipelines. Not for me, right? Not for the protesters or um, for anyone in particular, but for you and for us. On December 5th, I literally ran down from the 1st of January to the 25th of December. I did a rundown of all pipeline ruptures, leaks, and just known ones, by the way. There are other ruptures and leaks that were maybe smaller that they just didn't get that much coverage and they fixed right away, right? But just the ones we know about. And I, I, I found anyway, the more people look into this, the more they say, wow, this is really bullshit. Because this isn't just about a pipeline being run underground so oil companies can make a profit. No, that's not what this is about, right? That's part of it. And that's the reason they're doing it, but that's not what this is about. This isn't about energy independence. This isn't about, you know, dumb shit like creating jobs, which are temporary jobs. What this is about, right, is whether or not you as an individual have control over your land if you own that land. You may not give a shit when some stranger is being told by the government that we're going to use eminent domain here and we're going to build this pipeline. We're going to ram this pipeline, okay, down to your fucking throat, not literally, but in your fucking own ground. And if you don't like it, too fucking bad. This is about whether or not you want to protect our water resources, our drinking water. What's more important, oil or water? It's a no contest to me, but what do you think? So you see the thing about water is we need it to survive, right? We all need water to survive. We need it. When water gets dirty, like from oil, it contaminates it, and it's undrinkable at that time. Not to mention other types of pipelines that carry other type of chemicals that are harmful to water as well. What about the gas pipelines that can burst and cause major fires? Pipelines that have killed people in explosions? Pipelines that bring down the value of homes, because who the fuck wants to buy a home near a pipeline that can burst? Oh, you spent a lot of money for that land? We're sorry. And then their hypocritical asses will go lobby to state legislators anytime a pipeline is being built anywhere near their house, right? That hypocritical ExxonMobil CEO, your Secretary of State, you're welcome. All over the country telling everybody how good fracking is, how it's good for energy independence, and it's for the greater good. People in Oklahoma just stop bitching about, more earthquakes is coincidentally happening when we're fracking. Yeah, it's loud. Too fucking bad. It's too close to your neighborhood. Too bad. They built one near his house. Oh no, you can't disturb my horses. You can't disturb my property. He lobbied to get fracking that was gonna happen near his home. Okay, he lobbied to get rid of it. Fucking hypocrites. So you need to decide. There's very few issues that have an in between, that don't have, I'm sorry, an in between. There's nuance to everything, but this specific topic doesn't have a lot of nuance. It's pretty straightforward. When you know the facts, it's pretty straightforward. Like even with your common sense, it's pretty straightforward. First of all, you just ask yourself, what are these pipelines for? Who owns these pipelines? They're using eminent domain, and you have the President of the United States, you're welcome, right, signing executive orders for a private business to take over federal land, right, to build a fucking pipeline. So that private business can make a profit. That's all they're for. That's it. Well, they're going to create jobs, temporary jobs. Once the pipeline's built, what are you going to do once the pipeline's built? They're not going to have you recreate the pipeline. But guess what? They always fucking burst, so you'll probably have a job again. We'll see. Let's go over 2017, right? Talking like this shit doesn't happen. Not to mention all the accidents. December 5th, last year, I did a video. I went over 2016. For the remainder, all right, the last pipeline burst of 2016 was the one on December 5th, right? It was the Forts Pipeline. It spilled 176,000 gallons of crude oil into Ashcone Creek in Billings County, North Dakota. And that's when I came out and I did the video when this leak happened. Since then, let's see what's happened with these fucking pipes. On January 7th, a Colonial Pipeline stub line leaked gasoline into Shoal Creek in Chattanooga, Tennessee. On January 16th, a gas pipeline exploded and burned near Spearman, Texas. There were no injuries. Now, I keep hearing about how these gas pipelines are safe. Nah, they're safe. Really? You guys have any idea if a gas pipeline bursts, how much damage it could cause? So here in Texas, right, there are two specific pipelines that they're building, both of which are going into Mexico, right? Now, we're going to talk DAPL and this other one a little bit, but these two specific ones, I trace the money. I couldn't find any money that Trump has into that. Now, granted, the motherfucker won't release his tax returns, right? And he won't release a lot of shit. So, but this is what I do know, right? The billionaire over there in Mexico, one of the richest motherfuckers in the world, does a lot of business with Donald Trump. In fact, Donald Trump works for him, right? And he has a lot of investments in these pipelines, okay? And they're the makers of this pipeline who have contributed a lot of money to the former governor Rick Perry, the current governor of Texas right now, to just about every fucking Republican and Democrat, okay, in the Texas legislature, that is. Senators, congressmen, the whole nine, statewide. They used eminent domain to take over people's property against their will, to have a pipeline, right? And some of it, by the way, in federal land, which taxpayers pay for, right? So that's all our land, right? They use eminent domain to build a gas pipeline, which is dangerous, by the way, to run from point A to point B, B being Mexico. It's running right under the fucking ground to Mexico. Because they're going to liquefy it in Mexico because it's cheaper to liquefy it there, right? And then they're going to sell it in Asia. Well, why are they doing that? Because it's cheaper to liquefy it in Mexico. They're going to be selling it in Asia anyway, but it's more costly to liquefy it here. They don't want to pay Americans to do it here. They'd rather do it over there for cheap labor. And you know who's stopping it? Nobody. And in the process, all right, eminent domain in very rare occasions is needed. Hey, by the way, lady, I'm very sorry. We're going to have to build a highway here because everybody uses the highway, right? But eminent domain should not be for private use of a private company unless that private company buys off the fucking politicians. It's not that complicated, is it? Money leaves a paper trail. Always has. All you got to do is follow the money. That old saying, the root of all evil, is money. It's not that far off. It really isn't. But let's proceed. Oh, by the way, gas pipelines. Here in Texas, there are some homeowners, and this was literally done against their will, whether they liked it or not. Take it or leave it. If you don't take it, a judge will strip it from you anyway. Eminent domain, right? And because a gas pipeline was built near their home, literally, if that gas pipe ever bursts, they're dead. So number one, just the danger of that. And number two, well, if they don't want to live there anymore, and they decide, well, it's too dangerous to live here, I'm going to sell it, the value of their property has dropped substantially, right? Now, not to mention that these private companies, when they get these government contracts, get to use the water of the residents around there, right? It's not their water, right? To help dig these holes and build pipelines and test the pipes themselves to see if there's any leaks. Just billions of gallons of water that does not belong to them, especially in West Texas, which is a fucking desert. Which then the residents have to pay the tab for that. The water bill goes up. Interesting how that works. All right, let's proceed. January 20th, a Montana pipeline burst sent as much as 50,400 gallons of oil gushing into Yellowstone River. This was in Glendive, Montana. The latest one was on January 25th, just 2 days ago. A Magellan pipeline leaked 138,600 gallons, that's 3,300 barrels of diesel fuel onto a private land in Worth County, Iowa, near Hannontown. That was in Iowa. That was actually a big leakage, right? And this was, well, actually, I guess yesterday, because I'm doing this video late night. It's just 1 a.m. here. So about, less than 48 hours ago that happened. And I could guarantee you there's going to be leakages and bursts in February and March. Never does a month go by with no pipe. It doesn't happen. So anybody who tells you, these things are safe, they're going to take every precaution, this, that, and the third. Keep in mind of two things. Number one, they're going to cut regulations. The regulations are loose as they are. right? Number two, even if you regulate it, there's no way to prevent them from bursting. Mother Nature is unpredictable. I think Mother Nature cares that you built it with a badass steel? Fuck no. And lack of regulation can definitely cause problems. Let's talk about these two. Let's talk about Keystone, and let's talk about um, DAPL, right? Really quick. I mentioned the other video, but that was like a parody thing. I did that towards the end, so this is a little more serious. Numero uno, number one. You guys do know that Donald J. Trump has investments in these companies, right? He's going to make profit out of this. Could you imagine if Obama or just anybody else, if Hillary was in office right now and signed an executive order that was going to enrich them, that they were going to benefit from? That's insane. And this is no secret. He has investments with them. Furthermore, follow the money, people. You don't need the media when you follow the money, right? The owner of DAPL, the guy that's in charge of the whole enchilada, right, building the pipeline, donated a lot of money to Donald Trump in this campaign. Right? Yeah. Funny how that works, huh? DAPL and companies like them have donated a lot of money to the politicians in Washington. I thought we were going to drain the swamp. No, this is Swamp Thing. This is what this is. The swamp ain't being drained at all, actually. Okay. If by swamp they meant our resources, then yeah, I guess they are just draining it. They're going to drain us of our fucking drinking water. Right? If that's what they meant, is that what they meant by draining the swamp? Is that what they meant? Because, man, over here in Texas, they've been draining that fucking water a lot to test these pipes, which is not going to benefit anybody here. Just the millionaires and billionaires in Mexico and Texas. That's it. Right? But it's when you're buddy with the governor of Texas, and he signs off an eminent domain for you, it's all good, right? But nah, these oil companies, man, and these gas companies, they're not corrupt. No, sure. They put it in certain language, but the pipelines being built in North Dakota and the Keystone Pipeline, it's really just being used to export oil, right? And that's not up for debate. That's what it's for, right? And anyone who argues, by the way, it's just a pipeline. All it is to get oil from point A to point B. So there's other ways to do it. There's other ways to do that with oil, right? So even if you're not like this, see, the people think that if you're against the pipelines, that you're against oil, and not necessarily. Like, even if you don't go as far as I do when it comes to these oil companies, what cannot be argued is that these pipelines are there to help the private companies maximize profit. That's it. Because it's cheaper to get oil from point A to point B through a pipeline than hiring people that have to do it for you, like truckers and on boats, and it's cheaper to do it that way. That's all it's for. To help a private company make more profit. That's all it's for. That's it. What do you think it's for? You think they're building a pipeline to like deliver oil to everybody's home so we could all have free oil? Like, what do you think it's for? Like, are you guys stupid? No, it's for us. It's to help us. Like, in what way, idiots? Till this day, I cannot. No one could tell me. Oh, we need the pipeline for this. We need the pipeline because without the pipeline, it's we can't function as a society. Like, what? Nobody could tell me why we need these pipelines, other than these private companies making a profit. That's what it's for. Whenever there's a leak, it's like this, right? I think on December 5th, I went through one of them. One of those companies was fined like $145,000 for causing all that unbelievable damage, right? And then people give them credit for cleaning it up. Like, wow, they cleaned it up. Well, it's their mess. Of course they're going to clean it up. They got fined $145,000. These motherfuckers make billions in profits. $175,000 is nothing. And then if you cut their regulations, kidding me? You think Trump is going to have a big penalty for companies that he's invested in? If a rupture happens, you think he's going to put a big, he's going to hit them hard with a big fine? No, they're going to take it easy on them. They're going to say accidents happen, and it's the risk we must take, and in order for us to reach energy independence. It's just dumb shit that I keep hearing. Right? Fuck that. Right? And fuck anybody who buys into that bullshit. Now, the good thing about these pipelines, that is, believe it or not, I'm actually seeing people waking up to this, right? Even like on InfoWars videos where they're defending these pipelines, it's like half of their audience even is saying, "Oh, come on, Alex, like, you can't side with the pipelines here." Like even they're starting to see it because it's so outrageous, it's so out there. It's like so obvious. Why did Trump sign it? Because he's going to make money out of it. Well, why else do you think he's going to sign it? No, but you got to look at it this way. So what if he makes money out of it? If it benefits all of us, like, really? Well, it's not going to benefit all of us. It's going to create 20,000 jobs, and when they're done with that pipeline, those jobs are gone, right? They're cutting regulations. They're not going to have a lot of inspectors are going to be out of a job, right? So what do you think is going to happen? And then when an accident happens, if it's a pipeline that he signed, even though pipelines rupture and burst all the time, they're going to say, what are they going to say? Oh, this was a false flag. They did this to make Donald Trump look bad. Don't blame Trump because 20,000 people just lost their drinking water. Okay. I guess. Anyway, it's getting late out here, and that's all I got for the night, man. I am out of here.